How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews. Back with, I hope, is good beer. Old Stock. You know my love for Old Stock. North Coast Old Stock is one of my favorite beers of all time, especially as an aging beer. This is their Cellar Reserve 2017 Aging Bourbon Barrels. It's been a while since I've reviewed one of these. I had one of these not too long ago. I think it was just for personal consumption. And I thought it was quite fantastic. I don't see it up on my channel, so if I missed it, I missed it. But I was driving home today. I will try to post this tonight. This is the 26th, first day of the World Series. Braves are up. Go Braves. I stopped by a bottle shop I stop by every now and then, and I didn't plan on buying something big, but I saw this, and I was like, I made myself a promise, because there's no price on it. These usually retail for more like $23 plus. And I said, if this is less than $20, I'm buying it, and I'm reviewing it. It was $19.99. Who am I to lie to myself? Let's dive into this sucker. Old Stock Ale, 2017 Cellar Reserve. I know I've had 2017 Vintage, fresh and a little bit old. I don't remember if I enjoyed it all that much. 13.6% alcohol by volume. I'm talking about the base, not this one. Old Stock Cellar Reserve, a small batch limited release. It has been aged in wheat whiskey barrels. Okay. Ale aged in bourbon barrels. Is there... Maybe bourbon is wheat? I don't know. I'm a dumbass. I don't know bourbon. I always thought, like, wheat whiskey is different than bourbon whiskey. Like, bourbon whiskey is specific whiskey, right? Bourbon heads, let me know what's what. The aging process gives this world-class beer an added layer of complexity. A memorial drink that should be enjoyed as a completely unique offering. That'd be that. Yeah. So, let's dive into this sucker. How do we get this foil off? I forgot to grab my big old bottle opener. I don't know where I put it. I saw it over there. Let's see if I could use this thing to get in here. There we go. Ingenuity. I don't believe they cork these. If they did, hopefully my wine key is within reach. But I don't remember them corking these. No. So we'll see what's what. Label-wise, this label really hasn't changed from inception. I mean, the one you see over my shoulder there, that's how much I love this beer. There's a bunch of old stock stuff up there. This bottle is like the best one ever, the 09. Even that bottle shape was unique to the series, but the design was still much the same. Kind of like classic old stock jams. I dig this. Listen, the only way I'm not going to like this beer is if it's infected, because I'm getting such rich red fruits and big, huge bursting sweetness from this beer. I don't see how I don't like it. Like I said, otherwise, it could be infected because of how vibrant it is. But man, label-wise, cool. Beer-wise, I mean, it looks the part of what I want. That rich, murky doo-doo water kind of brown. You know, just under a half pinky finger of malted malt ball colored head. I mean, it looks all the part of a really nice, well-done bourbon barrel aged old ale / barley wine. It's good nose. Oh, it smells so good. I mean, it's hot. There's a big alcohol presence to it. You're talking 13%. You're talking bourbon barrel aged beer. You're talking 4 years on it, maybe closer to 5, because I'm pretty sure this comes out like at the beginning of the year. So if this is 2017, we're almost at the beginning of 2020. Man, there's a big fusel alcohol in this, but it does have this rich cherry note. It's this nice caramel leaning into a subtle sugar daddy kind of vibe. The whiskey on here actually does come off as a big weedy kind of characteristic, almost like spicy rye, but a little bit below that. It doesn't come off as this rich red fruit bourbon, even though I do get that red fruit on there. It's not a huge bourbon characteristic. If it is, it's more of a hot, fresh kind of bourbon. Which is weird to kind of say when it comes to barrel-aged beer, because I don't think a lot of times the actual age on the spirit itself plays that huge of a role in the barrel aging process. Usually has to do with the seasoning and the age of the barrel itself, as opposed to the actual spirit itself. Regardless, no confusing this. This is definitely barrel aged. It's definitely big. It's definitely bold. It's definitely a nice, rich, I would say, old ale. And I say that with a kind of surprise, because more often than not, you know, North Coast Old Stock comes off as more of a kind of slight hopped English barley wine more than old ale, but this has old ale vibes. It has a little open, firm vibes. It could be just the kind of time in a barrel bringing a little bit extra to it. But man, what else do we got in here? It just smells rich and bold. I just want to drink it. We're drinking it. Cheers. That's nice. That's really nice. Almost in a drinkable way. It comes off way less hot than you would think it would come off, based off of that heat that you get off the nose. And it has this really nice, rich, it's stopping short of kind of sugar daddy, but it's kind of flirting on the edge of sugar daddy. That's the way the base malt and the way the oxidation in the barrel, the way the spirit has come off, the whole nine of it has transformed the malt portion of the show. It has this kind of caramel halfway into a sugar daddy kind of vibe, which I love. It's kind of, it's brown sugar to caramelized sugar to sugar daddy to raisinets. That's kind of like my nice kind of transition the way barley wines kind of go to, and you get that soft little chocolate of that raisinette in there too. What else? Lively carbonation, way more than you expect from a 4.5-year-old bourbon barrel aged barley wine / old ale. It's nice. It's not the best version of this beer that I've had. I think the last one I drank, I think I drank it on a live stream about 4 or 5 months ago. I think it was a 2013, maybe. Somewhere a little bit older than this, and it was drinking epically well. This one still has some room to grow for me. Not that, bourbon barrel aged, multiple moving parts beer is the best kind of all-time agers, but while this is delicious and nice, and that barley wine is coming along well, and that spirit, that bourbon, that more whiskey shows itself quite nice and doesn't come off nearly as hot as you would think it would come off based off of the nose. And there's nice soft kind of that little bit of chocolate I was talking about, the little vanilla, you even get a little bit of coconut. There's a lot going on in this barrel without a big charry component to it. It's more sweet than anything else. It comes off a tad thin, a touch overcarbonated. I think both of those things would be hashed out with a couple more years, and ends up letting this beer grow into its own, warps itself into that raisinetty, sugar daddy kind of category, a much richer portion of that, and just ends up being maybe a more adulty version of what it is right now, but it's fantastic. Let's put it that way. $20 I paid for this. I don't have any qualms paying $20 for a bottle of beer like this. I really don't. I mean, I'm the person that's kind of a little bit of a miser when it comes to spending your money. There's a little bit of kind of loyalty here because Old Stock is one of my favorite brands of all time. If I got this from somebody else, would I be bitching and moaning about a 500 milliliter? Right? That's not 750. That's 500 milliliters. 500 milliliter bottle. I might be a little bit. If I paid $23.99 for this, I'd be angry. $19.99, it kind of just doesn't. It's that salesman trick that $19.99 and it doesn't do it $20. It kind of makes it okay in my book. Yeah. I like it. Just needs. Give me this in 2 more years. I think it's cash money. Cash money, son. Yeah. But still, nonetheless, a very tasty beer. Glad that I picked it up. Let's put it that way. So yeah, to recap, just this really nice, rich base barley wine. It's growing into that kind of caramelized sugar daddy with a ever so slightest dollop of that powdery chocolate that'll eventually become that raisinettiness that I love so much. Spirit is there, comes off a little bit spicy, not necessarily rye level spiciness, but this just extra spiciness that I would get from bourbon. Little red fruit jams, not as big as I get from bourbon, and little sweet confectionery notes from that barrel. Not super charriness, super smokiness, kind of dark chocolate, more of a sweeter chocolate. Again, we talked about that, but again, vanilla, a little bit of coconut, and an aggressive carbonation. Is it one of the better ones I've had, barrel aged? Dark beer, barrel-aged barley wines, because old ale barley wine, we'll lump them together. It's one of the better barrel-aged versions of those I've had as of late. Yes. Is it Mount Rushmore status? No. Even the one I've had from these guys not too long ago was much better than this one, but no qualms picking this up at its price point. Like I said, off the shelf, $20 and leave you, $19.99, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. If you like Old Stock, old ales, J.W. Lee's, markedly different yeast profile here, but J.W. Lee's, Hardy's, those kind of beers, if you dig those beers, you'll dig this. I guarantee you. So there you go. Reviewing the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it, especially if you've had this vintage. Or if you just want to wax poetic about North Coast old stock in every iteration. Massive Beers. I do that too. That's the social media stuff. Beer Massive. It's podcasting stuff. Go check that out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of old stock right now. We'll see you next time. Cheers.